Good morning, good evening, good afternoon from wherever you're tuning in. It's your sis Moon Magic, and welcome back to Tea and Tarot. This is where we get together every week, and this will actually be the last weekly for a while, just because I'm getting ready for a new release, and it just feels natural to kind of pause the Tea and Tarot lives as things get warmer and all of that good stuff. But I wanted to come on here today and let everyone know that the Tea and Tarots will not be weekly anymore. But, you know, we've been coming on here weekly at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time just to get together, vibe together, pull cards for the collective, give updates, and just build community, because that's been my jam, especially throughout this past 6 months or so as we've been here just vibing. So I'm going to go ahead and add all the information in here. For more info for my music or how to book me for independent reading, go to www.moonmagicflows.com. And if you like what, oops, I messed that up. And if you want to donate, donations are always accepted at the Cash App, but no pressure. I know it's real rough for everyone out here right now, especially with all the things going on in our global politics and the tariffs and all that good stuff, not so good stuff, right? But, you know, I always like to put the donations there just in case it is in your heart to be able to give in that way. And it does go a long way into fueling me as an independent artist and, you know, the spiritual exchange of it all as well. Salute, underground promoter inside the building. Good to see you here. Thank you so much for being here. I'll definitely make sure to send the song out to all radio stations and stuff like that as well, ASAP. We have a release date for the new single. It's a track release that's going to be by myself and produced by Ariano. So salute to Ariano. He's a phenomenal producer who's worked with a lot of LA folks who I have a lot of love and respect for. And I'm just really excited for this release. We've been really taking our time with the art and just really being intentional. That's been the vibe. So, you know, it's taking me a lot longer to put out work, but it's because I've been really, you know, making sure that I feel it and that I love it, you know, before giving it out to the world. So I'm real excited for this one. It feels really special. It's called The Great Escape, and our release date projected right now is April 18th. And so once everything has been approved and finalized in terms of distribution, then we will be promoting it and all that good stuff. Make sure to let your friends know, share it. If you're not following the Spotify or wherever you get music from, Moon Magic, go ahead and follow that as well. But yeah, how's everyone's week going? Happy Tuesday. I got my Nike shoes in the background, which it's because all my shoes are up there, and when I bring them down, I just be stacking them places. So don't mind me. I'm a Nike's girl for sure. Although I just got these new shoes. Hold on, let me show you. Shout out to Michelle, who just got me these new shoes. They're Sorel. Is that how you say it? Sorel. These are super fresh. I can't wait to put these on. And we got all our decks here. We got the moon deck. We got our angels, gods, and goddesses deck we're going to be working with today. I'm not going to bring out the Letterman today. I just really want to vibe and channel mostly for this one. But we still will stop and do, you know, intuitive checks, an opportunity for you to, oh my goodness. An opportunity for you to tap into your own intuition and what you see in the images and share below. Whether you're watching this on the playback or in the live, I always love what others contribute to the tarot readings. I personally believe that tarot reading is a reciprocal practice. The tarot reader is not someone who knows so much more about your life than you do or, you know, has all this knowledge. It's just mainly working with the cards and working with that channel and connecting to it in this reciprocal way, where the person receiving the reading is also, and their discernment is equally important in the messages, in my opinion and my belief. And I found that the more that people, you know, engage in their own intuition and share, especially in collective readings, it truly benefits everyone. I think that the comments typically bring up points that maybe I wasn't thinking of, or connect to it in a deeper way or a different way that's really unique and that I value. And someone else on the live or on the playback may also really relate or resonate with what you contribute to the reading. So if you're feeling called to a certain message when you see a card, lean into that. This is the space to do that, and feel comfortable in doing so and sharing and being encouraged to do so. Aside from that, this week has been, on a personal level, really been transformational after the eclipse season, and really feeling the shifts of, okay, these are the practical things, the acceptance of certain things, and how to move forward in a way that's actually moving forward. It may not always be what we love and what we want, but there are times where we realize that accepting things for what they are and making the best of the situations that we're in is the best thing we can do in the moment. It doesn't mean that we give up on wanting better for ourselves or wanting better for the situation, but it's been an opportunity for me to practice gratitude with where I'm at, and to be able to try to really be open to what is in front of me, and be open to exploring different things. So that's been really exciting and eye-opening and helpful for me on a personal level. But yeah, let me know how y'all doing this week. What's your Tuesday like? What's happening in your lives? Aside from the song, that's really been where I've been focused on. And we just started a new semester working at the school, teaching music on Friday, so that's been exciting as well. And we have our summer jam series coming up. How could I forget about that? This summer here in Sacramento, we are partnered SAC 916. That's my manager and our artist collective. And we are partnering up with Solidarity here in Sacramento, which is a jam, open mic jam band. And we are creating a open jam series with some headliners and paint and sip and vendors, very outdoor market, all ages vibe, with an open mic and a jam at the end of the show. So, MCs can get down with the band at the end, or they can bring songs they've already, memorize or practice for the open mic. Poets can be involved, any kind of instrumentalists, singer-songwriters for the open mic portion in the beginning. Just a real opportunity for the community to get involved. It's going to be at Broderick's, and it's going to be second Saturdays, April through October. And we've almost completely booked the entire summer series. We are still looking for a few more acts. But aside from that, we're just getting everything prepped and ready to go, and I'm really excited about it and being involved in the curation of it, and we'll be performing for the series in October, which is quite a while for now because that's the last date of the series, but I'm looking forward to it and how it all comes together. So second Saturdays, this Saturday is the first one in the series, and we're doing it every second Saturday, April through October, is the current structure of what we have and have been given, the agreement we have with the spot that we're in. So so real excited about that. If you're in Sacramento, come through to our second Saturday this April. I completely spaced out on that, and we have a really dope lineup of live bands. I think everyone is performing with a live band for the show, including acts like Sweet A and Teo Leah, and Rain Ali. Her Pan-Funk band is going to be playing, Pan-African Funk band. And then we also have Solidarity and DC and Torch One Blazing. So yeah, come through. It's going to be a good time. And I think that's pretty much it for the announcements. I'm trying to think anything else happened this past week. I've been really diving into the artist way. I think I've shared that a little bit on here, like more and more, and it's definitely getting the artist dates are the part that I never did. So I'm not sure if those here on the live or on the playback are familiar with the artist way. My book is somewhere. Where's my book? Hold on, I'm gonna grab my book. Okay. Artist way, ba-dum-bum. Alright, oh! And I just poured that all over. Okay, that's okay. Look, I have my, no, I'm not gonna use that. I'm gonna use this. We don't do COVID no more. Who needs a COVID mask? Yeah, so that just happened. Anyways, The Artist's Way is a book that Dochi's talked about a lot, and y'all know if you've been on these lives how much I love Dochi. And, you know, she's just a phenomenal artist and been really inspiring me as of late. I tend to, like, really fall in love with an artist and really be inspired by them and kind of study them for months at a time. And that's kind of how I've been with all the artists that I've truly, like, connected with, whether it's been Erykah Badu or Idea. You know, I'll have J. Cole. I'll have, like, a full-on few months where it's like they're the only people I listen to. Their interviews are the only interviews I'll be watching, and I'm just, like, having a whole vibe with them. So I've been on that Dochi train, and The Artist's Way is a book that she did the whole course for, and I had started The Artist's Way in 2019, got to week 8, and never finished. So this has really been my opportunity to go back, and now someone who, you know, I think is such a dope, phenomenal artist, and, you know, seeing the success of using that book and just their own artist journey, having these weeks where they break down how they feel about each week has been really helpful, because there are certain weeks that I was like, oh, I don't feel connected to this, or, you know, there's so many things that could trip you up on certain things. So it's cool to see her breakdown of it. And I've been kind of looking at Reddits and other people's breakdowns now, since the book is a little bit more popular than it was in 2019. So people are sharing their experience with it and how to better navigate and approach the book. Now my deck smells like coffee, my favorite smell. So yeah, that's been really fun. I'm on week 5 right now, which is recovering a sense of abundance. And when I first started doing the book, morning pages is something you're supposed to write every day, 3 pages. It's kind of just like a, you know, free flow writing, just to kind of get your day started with that. And the other thing is taking yourself on an artist date each week. And I was always really bad at that one. The morning pages, I was pretty good with. I wasn't always the most consistent in how much I wrote, and especially depending how big the journal is. Although these days I'm really consistent. I started doing the morning pages in 2019. I never really stopped. I still do the morning pages. And it's something I really love as part of my morning routine in general. But the artist dates, yo, I don't know what it is about the artist date that just seems like every time I have an artist date, I try to make it a chore or, like, you know, productive, or the whole point is it's not supposed to be productive. It's supposed to be you engaging in play and imagination and freedom and fun. And I've been really trying to reapproach that and allow myself to, one, treat myself to those things. I find that I create little roadblocks in my head of, like, oh, if I go to the bookstore, I might be tempted to buy a book, and I don't really want to waste money on a book right now. I don't really, you know, shouldn't be wasting money on that. No, especially not right now. You know, all these things that, you know, are just silly little things that can really prevent us from even allowing ourselves to imagine and have fun and play, even if you don't buy the book. You know what I mean? You still deserve to be able to go and browse around and just explore. It's a lot of exploration. I've been doing that with a lot of walking lately. And today I actually followed a whole quest from a dream that I had last night. And that was really fun to do for my artist date today. And I'm seeing the connections more and the synchronicities more when I do that. So that's been really, really exciting on a personal level with that. Yeah, I'm going to check in with these comments, see what you all up to. Did anyone share what they've been up to this week? Let's see. Underground Promoter says, yo, Reckless Radio. XYZ has a partnership with BioFreak Records. It's called Reckless BioFreak Radio. Definitely come check us out. Yeah, let me know. Is that in Southern California? Yeah, that sounds dope. I'm definitely want to make sure to push the single out to different radio stations and even work with some record stores and stuff like that. But yeah, I hope everyone's had a good week. I don't see anyone saying any kind of updates necessarily on what their week's doing. Hopefully I didn't miss your comment if you did. But those were some of the updates for me. I do not have tea today. I have coffee again. I told you I'm the worst at bringing tea to tea and tarot. But honestly, tea is like a very small amount of the year that I can drink tea consistently. And that is the winter months for me. There's something about it being really cold that I just love a nice hot herbal tea when it's cold. But when it's not cold, I find myself not really drinking tea at all. And I'm such a huge coffee drinker and lover, so I brought coffee to tea and tarot. But if you did bring tea or you have a different type of drink, lemonade or, you know, anything like that, definitely let me know down below. What are you sipping on today for tea and tarot? And yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and dive into this. Like I said, this is probably going to be one of the last tea and tarot lives that I do for a minute, with me just getting ready with all the content for pushing this new single. And just, you know, like I said, it's getting warmer. It just feels like a good natural time to pause. But I still plan on periodically popping in on here on Tuesdays, just kind of allowing myself to kind of go with the flow a little bit more instead of having it structured for every single week. Because I'm really big about things feeling flowing and not feeling forced. And I don't want to, you know, at any time compromise taking care of myself or my art or other aspects that are very important to me, and not be able to give the most to this reading in this space. Like, that's so important to me. I'm not just here just to be here, just to take up space, just to show up and you know, stare at me or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's about really engaging and being present with each other. At least for me it is. And to build in a way that feels authentic and real for me. And so if my energy's not there, I don't want to force it. And especially because it's going to be so focused on other things right now. But I will still be available for independent readings, personal readings. Just hit me up in my DMs, or you can find all the information on my Etsy. I did write a comment on it, but I forgot to pin it. So let me pin that comment now. That has my website where you can find the Etsy, as well as where donations are accepted if you're feeling called to. But again, as always, no pressure. So let's go ahead and dive into this reading for today. Let's go ahead and start channeling these messages and see what comes through. So if you're feeling comfortable and able to, you can sit down crisscross with your legs on the ground. You know, like your soles of the feet touching the ground can be really grounding. Or if you are on a bed, you can lay down. Or if you're driving, you know, just stay focused on the road. But if you are comfortable and able to and want to take a moment to just straighten your spine, relax your shoulders, you could put one hand over your heart, one hand over your gut area, or really whatever feels comfortable for you. Just kind of giving you that opportunity to tap in with yourself and ground in and connect, so that we can be most present during this time and get the most out of this space today. And so we're just going to close our eyes and take a deep breath in through the nose. Just really allowing ourselves to be present with our breath and our body. Deep breath out. Another deep breath in. No matter what kind of day you had today, just allowing this space to be a sacred container for you to show up and receive the messages that are most important for you to hear right now, that make sense to you wherever you are in your journey. Deep breath out. Another deep breath in. Just really thanking your guides, my guides, the divine for this space, our well ancestors who are present, and just speaking gratitude on this day and this ability to be here together, one another right now, and asking that we get grounded and can most be open to receive in our highest good what's meant for us in that good way. Deep breath out. All right, you can open your eyes, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to do a normal pull that I usually do, which will be general energy and then advice. I am going to add a row for supporting. So let's go ahead and just, I'll put this down here. So let's go ahead and see what is the general energy. Whoop. And this, man, okay, there's so much that I just wanted to say even with this, but I'm going to go ahead. This is our overall energy today. So you can drop it down in the comment here on the live, or if you're watching this on the playback, let me know on the playback, what do you see or think about when you see this death card? A lot of times people may be wary of seeing the death card. It doesn't always represent physical death, although it could represent the loss of someone physically, if you lost someone recently who's important in your life. But a lot of times this death card represents transformation, and the fact that something has changed in a way that it cannot go back. And the message that came out immediately when I saw this card was, I was thinking today about grief and how to live often is to be in a constant state of grief in some ways. Because as we live and we love, we continuously grow and move through life, right? Things are continuously evolving, whether we want them to evolve or not, right? It's like you could love a time period of your life and you could want it to be like that perfect forever, but it's always going to change, grow, and evolve, right? We're going to get older. We're going to, our interests change, our desires change, our, the cities we're living in will change. If you have kids, your kids will get older, friendships come together, relationships come together, friendships fall apart, relationships fall apart. There's all this evolution that happens in our lives every single day, that it's like every 3 to 5 years, I feel like we're constantly having to grieve something new in some capacity, whether it's the physical loss of a person or whether it's just, man, this version of myself who I really loved, who I will never be again, especially as you get older and we age, right? There's this loss of innocence, or maybe a time period of your life you really loved. You loved who you were in that time period. You loved where you lived. You loved where you were. You loved how you felt about life. And as life changes, we can lose some of those things over time. Naturally, they're going to evolve. And that loss doesn't always mean something bad. And it's not meant, I think, to be depressing or sad, although it can be depressing and sad, especially if there's physical loss, which is very hard. There's not words for those things all the time, but it is this natural part of life that things evolve and change, and this aspect of everything that's in our life right now is unique and is special in this moment. And I think that's oftentimes also the gift of what this energy tells us and shows us is, even right now, if you're in a moment of your life that you really, really don't like, that is really painful, where you've maybe had to accept certain things that will never change or could never go back, and it brings you so much hurt because you miss a certain person or miss this thing or miss this aspect of yourself or relationship, or, like I said, physical loss. There's also this beauty of understanding that even in this moment, there are certain aspects of my life. What are those certain aspects of our lives that we love right now that we know will change 5 years from now? What will not be the same? What could be different in those 5 years? And sometimes it's like looking back on the past could be really helpful in that aspect of 5 years ago, where were you? What are the things from 5 years ago that are no longer the same? And how do you honor that grief, honor those changes, but also we use that as a superpower of this idea of, wow, I don't know where I'm going in 5 years from now. There can be so much change in a positive way too. There's so much unknown that can be fueling into this beautiful blooming that I don't know about yet. And how do I honor and love the aspects of my life that are unique to this moment? Whether it's, you're 25 and you'll never be 25 again. So what are the things that you're doing at 25 that maybe 35 you is not going to do and 45 you is not going to do? And to honor those aspects, even if you're 25 and you are struggling with addiction or, have a toxic relationship or struggling with trying to figure out what you're going to do with your life, there are aspects you can also probably see in your life today where you're like, wow, these are some beautiful things about being 25 right now. And how can I love those aspects too, right? On the flip side, being 45 or 55 or 65 and looking back on your life and being like, wow, I missed the 25-year-old version of myself. I missed the 35-year-old version of myself. I miss these aspects of him or her or them. But then seeing what are the beautiful parts of being 45, 55, 65. Maybe some of the beautiful parts are seeing your children get older, having grandkids, these experiences that you didn't have before, having the wisdom to not get as upset about certain things that you used to get upset about. There's aspects, point being is there's aspects of every moment of our life that we can look at and see as being something beautiful and that we are in love with, that will not be the same a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. And we can also look back at those things that have changed in a way that is, grieving those things as well. And I feel like that's really the highlight of the energy right now, in a way that has been very transformational and giving us this kind of... there's so much on the cusp of uncertainty, I would say, just uncertainty in general, that can be just uncomfortable, scary, magnetic and auspicious. It can be hopeful. It could be, just so, it's giving Wheel of Fortune without the Wheel of Fortune card being here. Like, who knows where we'll be, but we're showing up for this. I think the thing about the Death card and grief in general, that has been an important message that I feel like comes for this, that I feel wants to come through at this moment, is being present. Being as present as possible with the present moment. And present as possible with those things that we're grieving, with those things that we love. Because there's on the Hip Hop Witch album, there's a sample at the end of the song Masculine Mescaline, that's from this interview that I was listening to when I made that project, and it talks about how us grieving things also is because we loved those things. We wouldn't love something that we don't grieve. And so while grief is incredibly difficult, whether it's grieving physical people, grieving the loss of a relationship or the change of the status of a relationship, grieving changes within ourselves, the loss of our youth, the loss of our innocence, whatever it may be, we also get to celebrate that we loved those things at one point, that we got to experience those things, that we had love. And the reason we grieve them is because they're temporary. The reason we love these things is because we know that it's not forever. It's part of what makes it so freaking special. And so I feel like the part of this message is honoring that the best that we can, to allow us to be as present in our lives as we possibly can. Because there's so much competing for our attention, so much to be worried about, to be productive, to, do this, that we, miss out on these special things at times, right? Like, it's like, I'm sure you can relate to that feeling of some aspect in your life where maybe you weren't as present for it because you were focused on, I need to pay my rent. I am tired and stressed. My job, my boss is pissing me off. You know what I mean? The news, all the things, right, that are very important things. And it's not that we shouldn't pay attention to those things, but it's about also making space to be present with the things that we love as well, and to love up, you know what I mean? It's like, that could be the reason all of a sudden you spend 2-3 weeks and you didn't even tell your child you love them, or remind your partner how special they are to you, and take them out on a, say a little walk date, you know what I mean? Because you're so bogged down by the realities of our world that can be very traumatic and very heavy and very, disorienting. And so I feel like all of that is at the forefront of this energy, just with this Death card here. This message wanted to come out today for sure. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pull some supporting cards. Let me know, like I said down below, how does this card resonate for you? What does it make you think of for the collective energy this week? And if you're watching this on the playback, feel free to drop a comment as well. All right, let's go ahead and look at supporting energy, supporting cards for this. What do you want to say, Spirit? What are some supporting energies for this? We have Two of Swords, reverse, because it's facing you, which I love that. And the Lover is reverse. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to get one more for that, Lovers. Ha! That's right. Okay. I hear you, Spirit. Spirit be spilling some tea. All right, so we have the Two of Swords here. So I'll move it upright. Let me know what this Two of Swords represents to you. What do you connect with in this card? Is it the swords, the moon, the waves? I feel like this card comes up for us every week on the live. But, you know, to be fair, it has been a very disorienting time for all of us. You know, we have Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde, which just ended yesterday. We had the eclipse. We had all these bigger planets that were shifting into different signs, like Neptune moving into Aries, and the bigger planets don't move as much because they're, you know, slower moving. So these are all pretty big shifts in our life that can be very disorienting. It's hard to decipher and have discernment on those types of energies. But this is, I smile about this when I see this card, because with it coming out reverse, it felt like, you know, it's that end to the indecisiveness. It's an end to the disorientation. It's the end to the confusion in a way that kind of cuts through the fog a bit. So if you've been feeling disoriented or confused or uncertain, or, you know, just overall in general, very, deep waters of things to where it's hard to make sense of what is happening and how to process certain things and situations in your life or in the global climate and system. I feel like this Death card, the support here is showing how that is changing, how this has transformed. And I feel it's in a way where we're able to see things a lot more clearly, make more decisive judgments and, you know, decisions for ourselves in a way that, it's like maybe if you didn't know how you felt about something for a while and you just kind of were, I don't know how to feel about this thing, or this thing's causing me a lot of anxiety, or I'm feeling something about this. It's like you know how to better process that situation. It's giving better emotional regulation in general. And it's giving the feeling of just, you know, this is the decision that I need to make. And instead of me being at a standstill with this person, place, thing, job, etc., this is what I'm working towards. This is the decision we need to make. And this is where we're going. And kind of charging, you know, moving forward with the Lover's card here too. You know, it's the commitments that weren't working. You know, it's the commitments and things that, you know, this time period has been very heavy on relationships and things that we're most intimate with. So our most intimate goals, the highest hopes and visions we have for ourselves, for our family, for the things we love, the people we love, etc., etc. Those things that were not working, that were, you know, not things that you should commit yourself to, are so abundantly clear right now. The things that you should commit yourself to versus the things that you should not commit yourself to. So if there was a situation with a person, or maybe a big decision you needed to make with housing or transition like that, and you just weren't sure which commitment that was right for you, or where someone else's commitment lied, or just commitment in general, like where to put your energy and how to invest your energy in this specific thing that you deeply care about, but the way of committing to it is not very certain at this moment. This is that energy of it becoming very clear of how to, you know, categorize, view this thing and see where it is supposed to be on your path, and in a way that is in alignment with you, that is in more harmony with you. This is like, you know, if you were in a situation where you were overgiving to someone, and it's like you being able to recognize that through all this energy, eclipse, retrograde, etc., and then not being so overgiving, but instead committing yourself to that situation in a way that is more in alignment with you. So that could be pulling back, practicing detachment, reinvesting that energy back into yourself. Or if this is a job, this could be very clear that this job is not going to work for you. If this is a housing situation where you've been kind of trying to decide whether to move or where to move, this is that very certain, this is what I need to do. This is what I need to focus my energy on. This is what's going to be in alignment and in harmony with me. And these are the things I cannot commit myself to. This is the energy is not going to work for me. And it being very, like last week said, it's out on the table. Last week's energy was all about how everything's kind of out on the table and we're all coming to the table and being very transparent, open, and honest. It's like through that same energy of everyone coming to the table, being transparent, open, honest. This is what's working for me. This is not what's working for me. In terms of us with our own spirit team, with our own guides, with our own life, with the world, right? But then also with the people we're the closest to. And it's that energy of now that those conversations have been had and that energy has been felt, we're moving forward with realigning ourselves to the things that do make sense. And not it's, you know, it's like you're not gonna commit now to things that are not, you know, committing to you or giving to you and what you need. So this could be like a job where your job is asking you to do a lot, like staying 2 hours late, and you used to just do it and then you'd feel some type of way about it, and you know, you'd be like, oh, okay, well, you know, maybe you get paid more slightly, so like it was kind of worth it, but you didn't really want to do it, but you didn't necessarily feel like you could say you didn't want to do it, or just didn't know how to say to them that you didn't want to do it. And in general have been kind of confused about this job period, you know what I mean? This is that energy of you being like, yeah, I don't want to do it. I'm honest with myself first about it. That's what we were doing last week, being honest, bringing it to the table. I told them I don't want to do it. And now this is the week where now I'm no longer staying 2 hours after. And yeah, it kind of sucked at first to think, oh, okay, I won't get paid as much, but I know that it's more in harmony with myself because I want to use that time for X, Y, and Z. And while that extra money was great, I was more in this mentality of being like, I need more because I'm afraid, rather than really being like, okay, no, my needs are met, and me doing this is actually taking away from what I really need, which is rest, space to give to my creativity or to nourish myself, or for self-care, the things that, you know, capitalism and productivity tell us are not important. Just continue making more money. That's the most important thing. Even if you have enough, you need more. You know what I mean? Like, your basic needs never feel like they're going to be met because we have this idea that at any moment all that's going to be taken away, which in a lot of ways, you know, there could be truth to those things depending on your situation, but a lot of it is a mentality that we create that even when we're good, we can't stop. So that's one way this energy could show up. So definitely think if this message resonates for you, and let me know down below if it does. How might this energy be showing up in your life? And yeah, I'm gonna leave that here and pull advice, okay? So let's go ahead and see what advice comes through, knowing that we're working with this kind of energy of realignment and really making decisions on what we're willing to commit ourselves to, what we're not committing ourselves to anymore, and getting really clear about that. Let's see what advice is coming through. Oh, 9 of Pentacles! I love to see it! Sorry, that's so exciting. I almost don't even want to pull any other advice. 9 of Pentacles, y'all, let me know what you see here. But I see a girl in her garden enjoying her shit. But, you know, like, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, you know, if you're not, this could be, you know, that parent who is always taking advantage of your kindness and having you come every weekend to take care of her cats. And, you know, that parent's actually really mean to you, but it makes you feel guilty if you don't come and take care of her cats. And this is you putting your foot down and being like, no. And it's the same parent who didn't do, you know, a great job parenting you, or, you know, was pretty absent emotionally when you were a child, or even physically when you were a child, and yet you're going out of your way every single week, and this is you putting your foot down and being like, no, I'm not going to come feed your cats, and it's because they're doing something for themselves, and they don't want to deal with their own responsibility. This is you being like, nope, that's your responsibility. You actually can take care of that thing, and it's not my responsibility. And instead, you spending your Saturday or your Sunday enjoying the freaking sunshine outside and doing whatever the heck your heart desires and taking care of you and enjoying your own freaking life. That's the vibe that it's given me. Instead of being wrapped up in committing to energies and people who are not committing and giving back to you. That's this right here. Making a decision to end those things. They're not in harmony. It's not in alignment. It's not a union. It's not filling back into your cup. 2 of Cups is 2 people bring a cup, and we have 2 full cups here. Not one person has half a cup, another person has a quarter of a cup, or another person has a full cup, another one has an empty cup. That's just going to be you pouring your entire cup into their cup. We ain't doing that. No. If they have an empty cup, you have an empty cup. It's that simple. If they have a full half a cup, you bring your half a cup, and then go spend that other half of a cup, 9 of Pentacles in it. You know what I'm saying? Back into investing into your other aspects of your life that bring you happiness, fulfillment, joy, security, all of those things. Because life is too short to give to empty cups. You feel me? Wise Duality says that bread. Yes, this is a very get that money kind of card. This could also be an advice way of really, focusing on your resources and investments and those types of things as well. Could be very, successful for you in this time period. But yeah, the 9 of Pentacles has always been a kind of a card of really not needing external validation and not overextending to the point that's detrimental to ourselves and our ability to find any joy in our own solitude and in our own life, and to make time for ourselves. You know, we are communal creatures, but those aspects are also very important, especially when those who you are in community with are not committing or giving you the same level of respect, love, attention, etc. That you give to this person. And it's not tick for tat, but it is an energy of this thing has transformed and changed, and we see it for what it is, and we're making decisions that are more in alignment with ourselves, which is important, because if you do constantly give and commit yourself to something that is not giving or committing to yourself back, you will eventually feel burned out. Even this, I take this into my own music. You know, a big reason to why I take a lot longer to put out music is because I want to make sure that I really felt the art and loved the art and didn't just, not give it as much. And just, it's like you're putting out a piece of yourself out to the world. So really, if you're doing that all the time, you want to make sure that there's a reciprocity and harmony to it that feels good for you. Or, when you do it, you feel so good about that situation that it doesn't matter what comes back, right? So yeah, this could be applied in many, many, many different aspects. So definitely think about where you are in your life and what is coming up for you as you hear this. That part of that discernment is really important, and lean into those things. And this could be a really good opportunity to journal more around that if you're feeling called, or, meditate on that further about what are some of the things that maybe you, what are some of the things you need to commit to that will give you more of this type of energy, that will give you more of this kind of energy, and not make you feel indecisive or confused or, ultimately emotionally unregulated. Yeah. feel like that's where the message wants to stay. So we're going to go ahead and pull some oracle cards. But as I mentioned, if you see anything in these cards, definitely let us know down below, or drop a comment down on the playback. I'm going to start these angel gods and goddesses deck. See what comes out. Oh, we got a lot that came out. Okay. Well, I'm going to censor this one. Angel of joyfulness. Something wondrous and magical is about to happen. I'm going to leave that one over there because she's naked. Angel of union. Okay, we in the Libra full moon. That's why there's a lot of this like relationship energy. It doesn't have to be relationship, but reciprocal, balance, partnership. People coming to that table, and we are equal parts into this business venture, into this relationship. You know, it's really is about fairness and balance, because that's the Libra full moon energy that we're under currently. It is about union and balance and fairness, and what is fair for all people involved, and you know, not having one person giving or committing more than another person in whatever it is. And so this could also be applied to a business adventure or business partnership, where maybe you realized that the person who you were in business with was not, you know, pulling their share of the weight. You know, it's like being in that group project and you're the only one who's putting in work for the group project. That ish will burn you out. And sometimes we're cool with it and we're like, yeah, we can do it. It's okay. But to have that continuous relationship with this thing can be really detrimental to ourselves, especially if we're not saving time for this Nine of Pentacles energy. And so that's what's really being highlighted, is if you're in that kind of situation where there is this off balance, it's going to be brought into balance, or being asked to be brought in balance. Those are the things that are transforming and changing, is how I read this energy, especially with the full moon being in Libra today. Or is it today? Yeah, today. So yeah, I think that's so much in alignment and timing right here, that the Angel of Union came out for that. So I'll definitely read this one. And then we have the Angel of Space Clearing. It is time to clear out old negative thoughts and feelings. And I feel like that's really connecting to this Death card, and just really trusting that the things that are falling away right now are really meant to fall away. Like, this is really an energy of letting go. Like, that's been really coming up in a lot of the collective readings, in a lot of my individual readings, and in a lot of my readings with clients. It's been that, you know, if you try to hold on to the water, it's never going to be held. It's always going to continue to roll off your fingers and through your fingers. And so to really flow like water and let the water flow, and let it overflow, you know, instead of trying to contain it all in one place. So I'll read that, and I will read this Angel of Joyfulness. I'm just going to keep it off screen because yeah, it's a beautiful card though. I just don't want this video to get taken down. Also, shout out to Radioactive Hearts in the building. Good to see you. Okay, and then we're going to pull one from the Threads of Fate. These cards smell so much like coffee now that I dumped a whole thing of coffee on them. Let's see what comes out, though. And as I mentioned, this is probably going to be my last Tea and Tarot live for a minute, but always feel free to come back and rewatch some of the Tea and Tarots on the homepage. I find that whenever you feel intuitively called to a message, it doesn't matter when you receive the message. A lot of times, almost every single time I've done that with other tarot readers, or just in general energy, it's like it still resonates. So you may come back here next week and decide to go through one of the older lives that you missed, and still find messages in there that are very applicable to how you feel right now. And that to me is just Spirit's way of, like, you know, making sure we always receive the messages. Sometimes we need a message more than once, you feel me? Okay, I have Movement Awakens My Creative Spirit. Really feeling this with the warm weather today. And When I Let Others Shine, I Shine Too. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read, and this card is Love, which I think is just really on par with this entire energy, because I think that this entire energy really is about love. It's about true love. True love is not one person leeching off of another. True love is not, true love is balanced, is that Libra energy of you know, equality and giving and taking, and it's not about, you know, acceptance. It's about acceptance as well, and compassion, you know, and that's what this card is about a lot too. And how liberating that can be too, when we finally accept a situation we've had a lot of resistance about, and give it love, and allow ourselves to let our love expand and transform and evolve into new places and avenues, and explore what we may have been closed off to before. Love can be really liberating in that way. And boundless, you know, we can still have a relationship with a person, place, or thing, even if they're not physically with us anymore. Or, you know, even if that situation has ended or transformed, we can still hold that love in our heart and that vision in our heart, and receive that energy in other ways, you know? All right, so let's go ahead and read this. Angel of Union, Angel of Space Clearing, and the Angel of Joyfulness, which is off on the side. Angel of Joyfulness. Something wondrous and magical is about to happen. This is a time to be joyful, celebrate, and appreciate all that you've achieved to this date. Look back on your life and give thanks for all your experiences. Even the setbacks that you have experienced in recent times have served you in some way. Something wonderful and magical is about to emerge as a result of a recent contact or experience that seemed rather meaningless at the time. The Angel of Joyfulness is here to tell you that you deserve to be and have all that your heart truly desires, and that your life is on the verge of wondrous transformation. You deserve joy and happiness, for you are a blessed child of the universe. Joyfulness is a state of appreciation and love for the self and for all of life. Yet often we're so conditioned to not accept joy in our lives. Close your eyes right now and tell yourself that you deserve to be joyful, and that you accept joy in your life from this moment on, regardless of the circumstances you find yourself in. Yeah, I feel like that message was really aligned to what I was saying about this death card earlier, about how sometimes all the things, you know, trying to pay our bills and capitalism and productivity and, you know, the weight of the world can make it so that we miss out on the joy that's in front of us, you know, whether it's loving up on our kids or loving up on our partner or loving up on a best friend, calling our best friend and being like, yo, girl, I haven't seen you in months. Let's go get some drinks, you know, but, you know, then we're like, man, I don't want to go out and pay for things, and man, this economy, and which are all valid things, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like, how much of what we're doing is because we're living in fear, or is because we really can't, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Because it's so much easier to place those barriers on us than it is for us to allow ourselves to be joyful and have fun, you know? We make a lot of excuses for things, and if it's not an excuse, it's a valid reason. Totally understand that, but I feel like this is a card to show, regardless of what your circumstances are, there's something in front of you that you can be joyful for, and to make sure you're cultivating time for that too, not ignoring the negatives, or, you know, not, you know, being toxically positive, but actually cultivating joy is a very powerful thing in life that oftentimes gets, you know, derailed by this, you know, where all of a sudden you're just extremely depressed and unhappy because everything around you is changing and transforming and feels out of our control. You know, that can be very difficult. And I think that there's a part of cultivating joy that can be very radical and empowering. And I feel like that's what the reading is speaking to. Angel of Space Clearing. Let's see what that one says. There's an Angel of Clearing and Space Clearing? What? Let's see. I think this is in order. Oh, I found Angel of Union first, so we're going to do that one first. A partnership is blessed and destined for great success. A merger, partnership, or relationship of some kind is being formed, which holds long-term benefits for your life. This relationship, partnership, or merger, which is with someone you already know or deal with, is blessed and destined for great success of some kind. Many great and wonderful things are birthed as a result of this union, which will continue to grow and strengthen for the rest of your life. Thank the universe for the wonderful blessing. Yeah, I love that. Like, there may be sadness about the way that certain commitments or things are changing, but I feel like there's also this confirmation that the commitments, people, and things that are entering and, taking its place are things that have long-term benefits for you and actually are more healthy and more in alignment with you and your journey and what's congruent for your growth, which is important. If I can find Angel of Space Clearing, where did that go? Here it is. The Angel of Space Clearing has shown up in your reading today to help you clear the negative thought patterns and feelings which have surfaced recently as a result of dwelling on past mistakes and regrets. These unconstructive thoughts and feelings are the primary source in your life at the present. Not only are they causing you to feel confused, they are also preventing positive new energies from entering your life. Close your eyes and feel the loving presence of this beautiful angel who is here to help you clear and heal all the unwanted feelings and emotions. Imagine yourself being showered with light. Imagine a beam of rainbow-colored light penetrating your heart, and begin to relax your emotions until they become clear, calm, and balanced. Now give thanks to God and your angel for this wonderful healing. Yeah, I really love this. And it actually is reminding me of this chart my therapist gave me that has been really helpful in my life, of really looking at a situation, looking at our belief around the situation, and then looking at how the situation is making us feel, and asking ourselves, is it realistic what we believe about this situation, and is it helpful? And I found that the helpful part, like asking, is it helpful for me to feel this way about the situation, has been extremely helpful in me really seeing how, while the situation might be realistic, this person may feel this way, or I may feel that this person or thing is this way. It's not really helping me to feel this way about it, whether it's feeling stuck, feeling powerless, feeling like a victim, feeling depressed, sad, anxious, etc., feeling so paralyzed with all those emotions that I cannot do anything productive or, allow any joy in my life. Those aren't helpful things. And so I feel like it's giving that same kind of energy here of imagining ourselves in a more relaxed, calm state, and recognizing that these emotions are not, we want to allow ourselves to feel them. Dwelling and reminiscing on them all day and holding on to the negativity can really cause dis-ease in a way that is detrimental to us. And so really knowing, we don't want to repress our emotions, but we also don't want to just continue to dwell on something that is really negative and is feeding a negative belief that is not the full truth of a situation necessarily. And it's definitely not helpful for us to be stuck in that energy all day, every day, especially in situations that are not changing, or we don't feel like we're in control of doing anything towards. Being able to let go or just calm our nervous system until we feel a little bit more calm and at ease before continuing can be really powerful. So I feel like this card speaks on that. All right. I think I'm going to end with this love card here today. I don't think I'm going to read the descriptions for these, but these affirmations I think can be really powerful this week to really tap into movement. I've been going bike riding and taking lots of walks, as I mentioned at the beginning, so I definitely feel this is in alignment with me as well. So maybe see how movement is calling you. Maybe you're called to do that burlesque exotic dance and you didn't want to do it before, but you might have been nervous or scared, but now you're taking that class, or putting yourself out there in that way. Or maybe this is like the same thing, you're just going for more walks, or maybe you're joining that league, that soccer league that that meets up every Tuesdays that you're always like, oh, I'm too tired to go to. This is like, no, go do it. you know you need to do it, you know it's good for you, and you know you're going to feel so much more awakened and alive when you step more into your body and embodiment of this human life, and get to tap into that through movement. And maybe it's just working out more. Maybe you're feeling called to work out more. Whatever movement means for you and the way that you're feeling called to move, this is definitely that, advice to lean into that right now. And that affirmation, my movement awakens my creative spirit. How when we are awakened in our movement, it can also awaken a lot of other aspects of us creatively and just get our juices flowing, especially if you feel stuck or in a rut or, just depressed and sad, like anxious. Movement really helps to awaken these energies that can help us flush out all those other ickies. When I let others shine, I shine too. I think this one here is just like confirmation of, how beautiful it is when we do let other people around us shine and celebrate our community, and, not do toxic comparison of where we see someone else, in their joy, and we're over there like, man, well, they get to deserve joy, and I don't get to deserve joy because of my X, Y, and Z that's different than them. And, don't do that to yourself. This is like celebrating each other's ability to find joy, ability to find our 9 of Pentacles, and knowing that that doesn't take anything away from our own 9 of Pentacles or our own joy. When we see our sister or our brother or whoever, sibling, shining, just really like allowing them to shine and celebrating them for who they are. And this goes again, I think, to the acceptance thing of how important it is to just really accept people. You don't always have to tolerate or, not have boundaries around it, but we should accept people for who they are and celebrate people for who they are, even if it's not always in alignment with who we are, and what we want and desire. But especially when it is in alignment with what we want and desire, I think it's so important to not look at that person enjoying that thing or putting themselves out there in that way as anything that takes away from us or speaks to something that we can't do either. It's more likely that you're drawn to that and notice that because those are aspects of yourself that also want to shine and come out more and are inside of you too. So when we allow each other to shine and be in that beauty, we just create this beautiful magnetism that amplifies everything that we do in our community. All right, so love. This is especially a card that comes up a lot when I'm going through any kind of breakup, relationship, conflict, etc. Friends, disagreements, things like that could be, connected to our heart space in a way that is very raw and vulnerable. So if you relate or resonate to any of those situations I just mentioned, then I would say that this message may especially be for you, and to really pay attention to what sticks out to you and what your heart is feeling called to when you're listening to this message. If I can find it. And I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who's been part of these tea and tarots. It's been so much fun to come up on here every week and connect with you all, and just been really a positive, uplifting vibe that has helped me to get through the winter for sure. And I did upload all of these videos onto my YouTube too, at least the more recent ones. So you can find some of them there too. All right, love. This card is an invitation to examine love in all facets of your life. This is love of self, love of others, your healthy or not so healthy boundaries, your presence with others, your relationship with intimacy, if you feel seen, heard, passion, joy, and total responsibility. This card could signal a need to build a better relationship internally, or maybe with a partner, in your business or work life, or even towards a goal or hobby. It could also be a reminder that love is a choice. Sit with these questions. Do you actively work on your relationship with yourself? Do you feel you trust and respect yourself? If you have a partner, do you feel balance in the relationship? Do you feel balance in your friendships? How do you feel in your work environment? What is your relationship with passion? Do you make time for it? What about intimacy? Do you feel comfortable with it? Do you love avoid, or do you love addict? Love avoidant or love addicted? Are you love avoidant or love addicted? What is your attachment style, and how do you express love? Our relationship with love in all its forms is always in motion and flux. When this card makes itself known to you, it simply means you should spend a day or two witnessing how love lives in your life. Yeah, and I really love that as the last card for this tarot reading, because I feel like it really highlights all of the themes of this message for this week and that Libra full moon. So yeah, I just want to thank you all so much for being here. I want to thank your guides, my guides, and the Divine for this space today. If you missed any of the video and want to watch it on the playback, it will be posted to my main account. But aside from that, like I said, I'm going to be taking a break from this Tea and Tarot live space, but I'll still pop on here and make sure to notify you all in the notes. And I'll probably put a notification on the YouTube community too when these videos come, and you can always watch it on the playback. Always trust that whenever you get one of these messages, that it is, you know, for that specific reason. Doesn't matter what time it is, that those messages, when they resonate and they are meant to come, they will come and they will find you. And that's just the beauty of the world. So, and spirit. So, yeah. I'm so excited for this new single to be released, and I can't wait to share it with you all. Until next time, as always, take care of yourself. Be kind, be compassionate, be loving, and I will see you all next time. Bye.